The original Seamaster 300 was introduced in 1957 under the reference of CK2913, featuring Omega's caliber 501 and arrow hands. The Seamaster 300, along with the Railmaster and the Speedmaster that were also introduced in that same year, formed what is regarded by collectors as Omega's trilogy of tool watches. They're important wristwatches technically, and from the arrow hands and dial markings to the cases and bracelets, they also share a similar design ethos that makes them great stablemates. Less than 10 years later, Omega significantly changed the Seamaster 300 with the launch of reference 165.024 that housed caliber 552 in 1964. It's this latter design that arguably made the Seamaster 300 a classic. Today, Omega manufactures quite a crowded lineup of professional divers, but until Omega released a new Seamaster 300 Master Co-Axial at this year's Baselworld, there were none that really reflected any of its 1950s heritage. The case on the new Seamaster 300 takes its design cues straight from that era. But at the same time, Omega didn't hesitate to introduce new technology that makes for a stronger watch. From the size of the stainless steel case to that unmistakably mid-century shape and angular beveling of the lugs, it's a near-perfect remake. Appropriately sized, the case measures 41 mm wide and 48 mm lug to lug with a thickness of 15 mm, which puts this case slimmer than that of a Planet Ocean 8500. One of the most distinct aspects of this diver is its thin, rotating bezel. Divers often boast thick bezels that can crowd out the dial and make it feel really small. Omega also upgraded the bezel here. It's made from a combination of ceramic, and its proprietary liquid metal technology is used for the diving scale. The end result is a bezel that looks like it's straight off the vintage model, perhaps with a more modern typeface, but it's effectively scratch and corrosion resistant. Further inspection of the case highlights some beautiful details, like the polished surface between the bezel and the case and how the bezel protrudes past the boundaries of the case for easy grip and operation. Together with the ceramic bezel, the domed and anti-reflective sapphire crystal adds a glossy and modern aesthetic to an otherwise heavily vintage-inspired piece. As far as the dial is concerned, it rings true to the 2913 with elongated triangular hour markers, Arabic numerals at the poles, and arrow hands. The arrow tip seconds hand leaves a bit to be desired. It's off script in that it's very white and its shape isn't true to the original. It looks like what you find on a Speedmaster. It's a small gripe, but I would have preferred a more typically faithful seconds hand, or alternatively and more rarely, a lollipop hand as was found on some early models. There isn't a lot of depth to the dial, as Omega didn't introduce applied markers or glue on a shiny new logo, and that's a good thing. Elements on the dial are printed, although the hour markers are sort of lasered into the dial and filled with superluminova. The vintage lume on the hands and markers is hotly debated. It's designed to look like aged tritium, which colors with time. Some relate the decorative patina to spray tans, but I like it and I don't understand why, just because it doesn't yellow with age, that superluminova must be white. As with the bezel, Omega introduced an upgrade to the dial's construction, which is ceramic but sandblasted to give off a more matte, vintage appearance. Best of all, the dial is undisturbed by any obligatory date apertures, a critical design choice that's going to earn this watch a spot on wish lists of hardcore collectors. Behind the dial is Omega's caliber 8400, a new automatic movement that, once you get familiar with it, explains why there's a clear case back on the watch. When the Seamaster 300 2913 appeared in 1957, it housed Omega's caliber 501, a 20-joule automatic movement with 40 hours of power reserve. The new 8400 is a 38-joule COSC certified chronometer. It features the usual Omega goodness, like the SI-14 balance spring and the coaxial escapement, but now Omega has combined these features with extended power reserve of up to 60 hours thanks to the two winding barrels, and extreme magnetic resistance. Last year at Baselworld, Omega introduced the new Aquaterra with the movement resistant to magnetic forces up to 15,000 Gauss, and this same technology is behind the 8400. The end result? The 8400 is an accurate, indestructible, and beautiful in-house caliber. Omega's Seamaster 300 Master Co-Axial is fitted with a high-quality bracelet executed in the same style as the 2913. It has polished center links and a push-button deployment clasp featuring Omega's rack and pusher extension system, which allows the wearer to adjust the size of the bracelet on the fly without tools. I wrote more about this in my review of the Speedmaster Mark II reissue. It's a great system and certainly better in its current form than not having it at all, but Rolex's glide lock set the bar awfully high for on-the-fly adjustment technologies. Overall, the Seamaster 300 wears like a sleeker Planet Ocean. It's comfortable to wear with a healthy heft, and like the Planet Ocean, it can go effortlessly from the boardroom to the beach. Despite its technical upgrades and durability that would prove otherwise, its aesthetics don't necessarily give the impression that it's a watch you can bang around or take into the ocean. The polished center links will attract scratches and fingerprints, and in combination with the ceramic bezel, these two surfaces make for one shiny diver, and it doesn't really exude much rough and tumble character. Visually faithful to its origins while simultaneously pushing watchmaking forward, the new Seamaster 300 succeeds as both an homage and a solid contemporary watch. For $6,500, you're getting a classic look and a comfortable and rugged watch backed by the latest and greatest in-house Omega engineering. The Seamaster 300 Master Co-Axial might be my favorite release this year from Basel. A spectacular modern diver and one of the best executed reissues I've seen lately, I'm not surprised it's from Omega. No other brand in this price range is this good at satisfying both today's casual watch buyer and the educated collector. And I think the new Seamaster will do just that.